I'm starting the live stream now just so anyone who's on the live stream can let us know they're here because they also count.
Sure.
This is a super boring live stream.
So how many people are we waiting for?
We're waiting on Jude and, we're waiting on Jude, basically what we're waiting on, but,
Okay.
we need 2 people to show up before we get quorum. Jude and.
I've never looked at the live stream. Is there a video?
No.
So Judas has 2
Kind of.
proxies?
The agenda is
Jude
shown on
and,
the screen.
Raul over there.
Right now, nothing.
It's just her face the whole time.
Okay.
So it's not video,
It's
but
like, where's the video?
she's like, that's why she's always like over there.
Yeah.
You gotta make up before it comes. Sell it, right? Sell the live stream.
All right, we can start.
Okay.
Alright, please come up here and it'll be fine. Alrighty, come help yourself to some pizza before we.
Hey, what's
If
up?
I'm leaving, then we don't have quorum?
If you're leaving, we still have quorum,
Yeah.
but please leave.
Go ahead, feel free.
Unnecessary document.
Where's my name card?
What is that smell?
It's pizza, can you?
Smells so good.
Sorry guys, sorry for being late. You can come get some pizza if you want.
Listen, if you show up for pizza, you can come 4 minutes late every single meeting.
Everybody feel free to get up and turn around and sign.
Please take as many as you need to.
We're gonna go ahead and get started now, because we have quorum. It's 7:04 p.m. Call to order. Okay, so thank you guys for coming to this emergency meeting. I appreciate that you guys understand the importance of getting all of this stuff taken care of. And I apologize on my behalf for having made this error in the first place.
Can I have a list of people who are currently at the meeting right now?
Point of order.
No.
Well, I don't know if anyone proxied in. If they proxied in, I would need to know the proxies.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Maria, they sent you an email, and I sent you an email, and I feel like these are the
Okay,
people who.
what about the ballots?
What ballots?
Well, people did ballots if they were able to come. How many people submitted?
Have you
ballots?
looked at the?
This is the thing that I have,
Okay.
as I was trying to get to. This is the people whose proxies I have, and these are ballots that have been submitted to me. And so this is just where we're going. So,
I can't really see, sorry.
okay, well,
I won't be able to.
Sit somewhere else then. Unless you join other meetings.
The screen is currently, I can't see it.
well, this is just mixed up somewhere, yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a shadow on the screen. Okay.
I'm sorry if I was standing in the way.
Just making a mess. I'm so sorry, guys.
Alright,
Can we proceed with the meeting, please?
okay, so, basically we have a very simple, agenda today. We need to vote on these, things we voted on already, so hopefully this won't be too onerous a task. So, if you give me 1 second. We're gonna start with the term limit amendments that we voted on.
Could you just briefly summarize like how this came to be? I know we went over it's in the emails and stuff, but just so it's like in the minutes
So
and the official record people
there was,
watching.
there was a question as to the amount of votes for one of the term limit amendments, and there were problems with procedure. 3 members of the executive board asked the Supreme Court to write an advisory opinion as to whether or not this first Article X passed or not. They determined that because I didn't, as chair, say motion passed in the meeting, and only sent an email afterwards, that they didn't. The votes were nullified. That means that, and the reason we're doing more than that one thing is that all 3 of these issues were moments where we had a vote in a meeting that I didn't claim as pass or fail until after the fact, and we want to make sure that we are not. If a question comes up, we want to make sure we've actually ratified these in the meeting. So I understand this is a very technical thing about Robert's rules. It's not based on our governing docs. It's based on the way in which our governing docs are built, which is on Robert's rules, which is exhaustive and also difficult to parse sometimes. So the Supreme Court decision, if anyone's interested, is posted on the website for you to peruse at your leisure. The gist of it is we need to revote on this issue. And because we don't want to have the problem. The other problem is, if we don't vote to at least approve the Supreme Court is nullified too for the same legal logic. So,
I'm sorry, Daniel. Where is it posted on the website? I'm looking
There
right
should be a
now.
link on, check our documents.
Uh-huh.
About document, there's a link to GPSC, Supreme Court, whatever. I also sent out an email that has the opinion.
It was posted by the clerk of the court yesterday afternoon, so.
Oh, I see it,
wherever
yep.
that's posted. Alright, so,
Thanks,
is
Jim.
everyone clear on why we're having this meeting in the first place? Again, I apologize for this is absolutely minor. So, I think we'll just get started with the term limits. These are the two that we voted on.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Would it be possible?
I'm sorry, please don't interrupt me while I'm talking. These are the two that we voted on in February. So, the first one is the one that was actually part of the Supreme Court problem. The second one is also included. G.
Point of information, my recollection is that when we had these votes 2 months ago, these votes were, or these amendments were proposed to the council with the intention that it applies retroactively. And there was a motion on the table after that meeting to discuss whether or not it should not apply retroactively, but I don't know if that discussion was continued, or are we voting this in to apply retroactively like we did
We're
before?
voting for the exact language
Yeah,
here,
go
and that's
ahead.
all we can vote on at this emergency meeting.
Alright.
If anyone wants grandfather clauses, they have to propose that separately.
Yeah, we are not including any new business in this meeting at all. These are all old things we've all done. So this is the exact language that we voted on at the February 6th meeting, I believe. Is everyone clear on that? Okay. So, these games are good from something. So can we get some discussion?
So we're voting, I
Sorry,
believe.
Jared, Bernice, and then
Oh,
Jared.
I'm sorry, I didn't see her.
So, my first question would be, it's related to this discussion. Daniel, would it be possible for you to check your emails right now?
No.
Why not?
Well, because I'm in running meeting right now, sorry.
There might be some things related that would affect this discussion.
I can't imagine anything you would send me an email that would actually affect this. Jared,
I'm sorry, I'm not finished.
I'm actually moving on from you. Jared,
I'm sorry, I'm not
I'm
finished.
sorry, I'm actually
So
moving on
are
from
we
you.
voting on
Jared.
these two issues separately like we originally did? Cause okay, and they can both be passed and not be contradicting to each other, right? They can
Right.
both be voted up and they don't take precedence, they're both in.
Okay,
I move to, I call the question on, sorry.
yes,
Okay, I call the question on the first.
alright.
Motion for a roll call vote?
Okay, well, are you ready to take notes?
Yes.
Okay, so if you are aye on the first amendment, please raise your pockets now.
Wait, you second that, or?
No, I second from subcommittee.
Okay.
So.
Yeah,
raise your
no one
pockets.
objected, so.
Yeah,
And for the record, I've got Sajan and Hannah on the live stream, but Hannah is proxying for Claudia, which we already knew.
Yes. Okay, so raise your placards if you're an aye, please. Okay, so are you ready, Maria?
Yes?
Daniel Casper, Dina Ameli,
I'm sorry, what, Daniel Casper vote?
Daniel Casper, Nina Ameli. She's at the top of that list right there.
Okay.
Okay, and then Hannah Putnam,
Okay.
Claudia Diaz-Combs, and to be clear, Hannah is on live stream and is proxying for Claudia. Sejin Chung. I'm sorry, did you? Sejin's not on my list.
Sajan's on the live stream.
Oh, Sejin's on live stream. Sejin is on live stream. Sejin Chung. Okay.
Alright.
Jasmine Sears. Jude Udazar. Katie Strawn. Ready?
Okay.
Adam Meir. Toby McNeil. James Sheldon. Jennifer Sedler. John Costanza. Austin Thompson.
Alright.
Jared Brock. Raul Vittoral. Aishwarya Bhardwaj. So bad, sorry. quickly raise your flags up so I can get a number again.
Should be like 18.
6, 9, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 ayes. Okay. I also have, let's see. 18 ayes. Okay, nays.
I also have Jen on card.
Okay. So, 2,
Wait, sorry, we're gonna.
well, okay, Maria and Jim. Are we still, yeah.
Okay.
When you got your name down.
Okay.
Dustin Trent,
Okay.
Remington Smithy,
Okay.
and then Michelle Boyer, Stormbird, and Matthew Humphreys. So that's 2, 4,
And so I'm also
7.
proxying for Lydia.
Okay, and then Lydia Heist. So that's 8.
Is it possible for you to send me that spreadsheet?
So yes, I'll send you the spreadsheet. Sure.
Can you send it to me now?
No, I'm trying to count.
Okay.
You still need placards or you good?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Any abstentions in the room? Okay. There are 2 abstentions for whatever matters. Okay. Now, second term limit.
I'm sorry, I thought, a vote from Ellen against, she's on the last one as well, she
Okay.
just popped up, but,
Okay.
yeah.
So I want to start on the nays. So that's 9 nays.
So could you call those on the vote?
Yes, I can call it.
That's how we had to do this all
Is
over again.
anybody else? Okay.
Check
Good,
the
I'll
hall.
start down, Maria.
What?
Did you get Ellen down?
Yes, so then it makes it, how many?
18 to 9. Motion carries. The first amendment is included in the elections code.
Okay.
So did the motion pass?
Yes,
Yeah.
motion is passed.
Okay.
Thank you.
He said carries instead of pass, so.
Yes, motion is passed.
The lawyer in the room.
Point of information,
do that.
so the two articles were proposed as an or article, that's how it was sent out, so we either adopt Article 10,
That's not
term
true,
limits, or
Maria.
Article, yes, correct, that was the
No,
way it was
Maria,
sent
that's
out.
not true.
That was the way it was
Point
sent
of
out
order.
in the
Maria, that's
original.
not true.
Maria was not recognized before
I can
speaking.
forward that
Maria.
email if you don't
Maria.
believe me.
It's not, that's not relevant.
It is relevant
It's-
because those two
Maria.
languages are
Let's just
supposed
be
to be
good.
adopted one or the other.
Maria, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop talking when I have called on you. And no, that's not relevant.
That's relevant because that, both of them
Point of
are-
order.
Jerry.
Does anyone have anything to say on the second amendment we'd like to discuss that hasn't already been said? If there's no one else, so Maria, what would you like to say about the second one?
I can say that the original reason why it was proposed was, so it's, according to what was presented at the 206 meeting, was about conflicts, about members having conflicts and therefore necessarily needing to get rid of old members. However, I don't know if it's just old members that are conflicting, if it's new members that are conflicting, what's the relationship between old people and new people. And also, most of the old members, in my understanding, are leaving. Most of the executive board will be new next year. Also, we currently can't find enough people to even run for GPSC elections. So I don't know why we are thinking of getting rid of people additionally.
It's just
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm speaking. So in terms of conflicts, if we're talking about term limits to solve any problem, I don't know what problem we're trying to solve with them. Are we actually talking about getting rid of people? And if we are talking about getting rid of people, I would rather we talk about that topic instead and talk about another impeachment if needs be.
That's not pertinent to this point.
Also, I think it makes more sense to try to solve problems rather than just getting rid of people, especially if we don't understand what problems there are, especially if there's a group of people, one group of people trying to get rid of another group of people. And I mean, in general, what is this whole term limit situation? I don't know what it has created. We're meeting once again in this same room, not the same room, a different room, but on the same topic. And I don't know how many times we have to go back and talk about term limits. I mean, we've created a conflict with this whole term limit situation when the reason was supposedly to resolve them. And I don't really know what the benefit to our constituents is why we're spending so much time during meetings and why we're keep bringing the topic up. I don't know how our constituents benefit from specific people not being able to run. I mean, I think there are plenty of other issues that we can talk about during meetings as opposed to term limits and as opposed to let's get rid of people and prevent conflicts. However, we're actually making conflicts and wasting a bunch of time. So I don't really see what we're doing with all this. And I frankly don't understand, if, as I said, if we're adopting the first language, how we can adopt the second one if they were presented as an or clause and they both say A, Article 10A, if you look at the language proposed.
Alright, John, then Jared, then you.
As one of the oldest members in the GPSC, I can say that if someone had said this was to get rid of old members, I would have been the first to object, so I do not remember that language. But secondarily to that, I don't see how any of that was relevant to what we're doing now. And can I call the question, or
Okay.
can I call the
Can-
question?
May I just point out
Sure.
a quick thing? Your stuff says A and A. Can you please correct that? It's supposed to be A and B.
This is the language that was presented at the thing, so not really.
Okay.
We can reformat it once it's
It's
fine.
not actually.
just auto.
Anyway, so
May I just say one thing, John, for one question? First privilege. Well, it's patently false that this is causing us to have emptiness in the GC. I know for a fact that there was an individual running for every single position, except for college education and one other that I cannot recall at this time. Actually, no, that's false. As of this afternoon, every single position except for the college education has something running for it. So that would not be affected by any of these term limits. So to continue to belly up these things that have absolutely no ground in place is ridiculous. So it's just one question.
I call the question.
alright,
Motion
Second.
for a roll call.
Second.
vote.
alright. So, roll call.
I'm sorry, but again, I'm objecting to it because we're not supposed to be implementing both.
Okay, well, your objection is noted. Make sure you write it down in the minutes. So. Alright, so placards up for ayes on this second version. Ray Murray. Daniel Casper. Nina Ameli. Hannah Putnam. Claudia Diaz-Combs. Sejin Chung. Jasmine Sears. Judy Udizar.
I can't read.
Sorry. When you get to Jasmine.
So
Judy Udizar. Adam Meir.
Okay.
Katie Strong. Chloe McNeil. James Sheldon. John Costanza. Austin Thompson. Jennifer Sedler. Jerry Brock. Ro Itherald. You say that name for me.
This one?
Yeah.
Ishwarya Bharadwaj.
Okay. I've never given that. Ishwaya Bharadwaj.
That's right.
Finally, after 6 months of trying. Vishnu Pradeep. And Dustin, you voted yes? Dustin Tran. Alright, now placards back up just so I can get numbers down. 6, Jude had 3 more steps, 9, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Ayes. Nays. Okay,
And
so,
I also checked.
yeah.
So.
So Maria, Jim, Collins,
So me, Maria,
Maria,
Jim Collins.
Jim Collins, Remington Stickney, Ellen Stark, Michelle Boyer,
Okay.
Stormberg,
Okay.
and Matthew Humphries. So that's 2, 3, 4, 7.
Marquez and who else did abstention?
Marquez is abstaining, and Daniel Blacklock abstained via absentee ballot
For this only, or for both of them?
for all term limits, is what they said. Yes.
For information,
Yeah.
so in the spreadsheet, I presume for brevity, the nays and abstains for term limits is only listed for one vote, but I presume they vote the same way for both of the term limit votes,
That's what they told me. They were like, no term limits.
period.
Abstain for term limits. No one said no one split the vote.
No one split the vote, yes for no, one for no.
Everyone understand?
Yes.
Okay, so, motion carries, motion passed, motion passed. Okay.
Lost the vote.
We did?
Yeah, we're missing one.
I think someone logged in the live stream, Marquez came on.
Somebody.
No, it's okay if someone just doesn't work.
Yeah, alright.
But Marcus is already there.
Yeah,
Oh, you're,
whatever.
whatever.
Alright. Someone may have walked out of the room. So, great. Now, before we move on, I would like to move that these
Oh, sorry.
term limits
Also-
apply retroactively. I would like to move that these apply retroactively to the day that we actually voted, which is February the 6th. So that's that, because we've been going on with that assumption for the last 6 months, or whatever, 2 months. Okay?
That's not a motion on the table.
Well, actually, it's about the table talking about term limit amendments, so
That
actually
was
it's.
not a proposed, amendment at the time.
Okay,
That was not given any consideration.
this is the point at which we can consider it. I move that these amendments be apply retroactively to the day that we voted on them initially, when they passed.
Second.
I have a second, so, does anyone like have any other discussion about this?
Sorry, what was it?
The motion to make these apply retroactively to the 6th of February when we initially voted.
This is what, the term limits?
Yes, term amendments, because that's the motion on the table. I have a second. Is there anything that James?
So, sorry.
Can you explain, like, what this actually means and what would happen if we vote yes or no?
It would mean that, my hope is that it would erase the fact that I didn't say motion passed in the meeting itself. But what it would mean is we've had the elections code altered on the assumption and basis that what I've done is correct, and it's been that way since the 6th of February, and this would instead, make sure that it's clear that that was continuous rather than interrupted at any point. Jared?
So I think point of clarification just sounded like, because we spoke about in a future meeting discussing, previously we spoke about whether this would retroactively start the clock, so to say, of like when it is. And just to be clear, what we're voting on does not concern the clock of when term limits,
Right.
of like when you start to serve, when it starts counting against the amount of total terms you can serve. This merely says we had official rules in place, and those were official rules, and those did count when we originally passed them.
Yes,
Correct.
that's exactly what it is. Jasmine?
To put this another way, I think what we were doing is ratifying a previous decision that was made improperly,
Yes.
which would mean that it would take effect from the original vote, not from today. That's all.
That makes sense.
Is everyone clear on that? I have a second, a motion and a second on the floor. Can I get ayes?
This is the intent. So this is,
So I'm gonna count them this way. So 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 16 ayes. And there are any on the live stream? Give it a second.
I have not gotten any yeses on the live stream, but I'll let you know.
Okay. So right now I have 16 ayes to make this retroactive.
I'm sorry.
6.
I'm sorry, can,
And there are any
Can you
nays?
give-
Are there any nays in the room?
Yes.
Oh, I see
Actually,
one,
motion-
one nay. I'm sorry, we're in the middle of voting. One nay so far.
And Hannah actually votes aye.
And votes aye, so 17 nays.
can I get the names for the articles?
No. Any abstentions, or I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you've got 2 abstentions from the live stream.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Is that one of those marked ways?
Yeah, it was Marcos and
So-
decision.
1, 2, 3 abstentions. Alright, motion passed, motion
Oh,
carried.
wait, sorry,
Motion passed, motion carried.
Okay.
Alright, now, moving on to the Supreme Court. It's Article 5. Again, this.
As a clarification, I would motion that we approve the Supreme Court to be included in our constitution and apply retroactively back to February 6th, just because the Supreme Court has already done some work for us and we need to pay them. And secondly, we need to have a Supreme Court for the upcoming elections. It's obvious that we will have some dispute that we need to preside over, so it's absolutely necessary to continue to have the Supreme Court. And I think it's going to be unfair if we told them yes and a month later go back and tell them, sorry, now we've changed our mind and you're no longer working with us. That would be very terrible. And also let me point out that this is a constitutional amendment, which means that we need at least 2/3 votes in the room. So again, I'd like to encourage everyone to vote yes. Again, I'd like to encourage everyone to accept these amendments like we did previously.
Very good.
Yeah, just point of information, do we have to do 2 separate votes for the retroactive piece?
I don't think.
My motion was to let it apply retroactively. I already made those two.
So, right now, the motion on the floor is to accept this and make it apply retroactively back to the 6th. As we go. Dustin, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Dustin.
I was just gonna say, because it doesn't sound like the Supreme Court can actually rule on anything in election, because our election day ends when their ends.
Just to clarify, anyone can file up to that date. And so if you see an election problem, you need to file as soon as you can, rather than waiting until you've lost to file, because that's the thing that, yes, people who've lost the election probably won't be able to file at the last minute, but if you see something say something, because up until that point, and then up until the 11th, they will accept a thing, and then they will rule on it after. The deadline is to give them a couple weeks to read through the law and actually come up with an opinion.
But Alma's gonna have to decide whether it goes to Supreme Court, right? We have to go through Alma first.
Yes.
That's what she said.
She refers it to.
Yeah, so you switch. Jerry.
Well, thanks, Dan, for explaining that. It does seem like a very odd correlation that the people filing election complaints are always the ones who lose, right? And it's always after the results have come out. But I think I actually have a point of order. I'm not sure, Jude, if we can move to have one vote, because what we sent out, and I believe people voted yes already on the language that did not include retroactively applying this.
Okay.
So I think that we should have a vote, just to vote for this, so we can include the people who voted instead of absentee ballots. And then we can have a second vote with everyone in the room for making it retroactive to the
That's it.
Okay, so that's friendly amendment. So the motion now on the table is just to accept this clean without any everything else, as we did the first time. Is there any further conversation that needs to happen? Okay, great. Can I get ayes? Okay, this is going on. All right, so I have 7, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 ayes. And most of the absences
Sorry,
no.
also Joe, so
23 ayes
Or
plus.
20 plus Lydia.
Okay, 24 ayes plus 5 ayes on the board.
Oh,
So,
sorry, Ellen also votes yes.
so that's 30 ayes. This is the only time we've ever been unanimous with anything. Any nays? No nays. Great. Motion passes unanimously. We're now in the Supreme Court again. Thank you guys for that. All right, so
I move to make this apply retroactively back to February 6th.
all right, so
Seconded.
Second. Remember, did you have anything to add?
No.
All right. Making this apply retroactively to the 6th of February.
Strong.
I have 7,
Motion
8.
for roll call vote.
Okay, sure.
Why?
I object, need a majority vote to do a roll call vote.
All right, so.
Motion for roll call vote.
Well, we have a motion and then an objection. The other thing is that was a kind of a motion in the middle of me counting things, so I'm gonna ignore it. So Tiger's back
Let's
up,
do a
please.
motion.
it's a motion in the middle of me counting votes. I'm
We
sorry.
did not
5,
start.
8, I'm actually counting now. 10, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 ayes. 22 ayes. Anybody
Plus
else on
Jim,
my
plus Jim, 23 ayes.
Yeah, no, it's 22. I got you the first time.
Okay, then it's
24.
Lydia, there's also
Yeah,
Lydia.
I'm aware you have 3 votes. I gave you 3 votes. And that's, now I'm lost count. And Tiger's back up, please.
Boyce is an I as well, I just can't find a spot.
I had it in my head.
Fantastic.
7, 10,
Are these eyes?
yes, 12, 15, 18, 20, 24. 24 ayes. Alright, any nays in the live stream, Justin?
No.
Okay. Anybody abstaining from this? Okay, fine. Alright, last thing, College of Medicine Phoenix. This was way back in, I think, November, where we added College of Medicine to our roll call. Yes, Chief.
Again, I would like to, I believe this is a constitutional amendment.
It is a constitutional
I'd like
amendment.
to make a comment that we, again, accept this amendment back to our constitution. My understanding is that we have reached out to College of Medicine and told them that we've created a seat for them in the council. And we've also announced this on other platforms. We've told Faculty Senate, we made it very clear that GPSC now has a seat for College of Medicine Phoenix. It would be terrible if we go back and tell them that we no longer have a seat for you because we just did not follow our rules currently. So I like to make a case to everyone to please again honor our commitments to the College of Medicine Phoenix students and vote yes on this.
Second.
Alright,
Well said, well said.
okay, so that's a second. Is there any further conversation about this?
Can we now move to have this apply retroactive as well?
I think we should do the same thing. We should
Separately.
Two votes
again.
again.
Ratifying now.
Before we vote, I'd just like to say as the senior college medicine sorry,
Maybe
John.
slap you.
Well, I'm the one who introduced this originally, and then I was the one who's personally been in contact with the leadership for the Phoenix Student Council. And I'd like to say thank you for your support passing it the first time, and y'all, my full confidence will do the right thing and pass it the second time. They really appreciate this gesture. Not only is it something practical for them, also just a symbolic sense that we appreciate them up there and we realize that they have different needs 120 something miles away than we have down here in Tucson. So thanks again.
Maria?
Just a point of order, point of information, sorry. The last time we voted on this, the motion failed according to the amount of votes. But there was no email sent out as a result of the votes. Therefore, the reasoning as to why this should be reoccurring on the agenda, the same reasoning the first two items is not adequate. There was no report on it succeeding or
that's-
failing. However, the numbers clearly show in the minutes that that vote failed at the time that it was voted on.
Which one are
So,
you thinking about?
the last time we voted on this agenda item, I think was on the 10th, 11th. It's in the minutes. If you look at the website, you will see that it was a failed vote according to the constitutional amendment. You will see that the votes were not sufficient for it to succeed.
Point of order, a failed motion can always be brought up at a later date, we can still vote on this now, it does
But
not
the
actually
reasoning
matter.
as to why it was brought up again on the agenda was because there was a report in the email sent out that this had succeeded or failed. There was no report in the email. I checked the email. There's nothing in
Point
the email.
of
sorry.
information, was this
I'm
part?
sorry. Jared, Raul.
My understanding was that we passed College of Medicine Phoenix to be part of our documents. We approved that and we've had that in our document for several months. And my recollection is that the Assembly Chair called the vote on that. And I think we've gotten clarification from the opinion that we got that it is the job of the Assembly Chair to call the votes on debates. And with that said, we are going back to this process again because he called it via email, and now he has to undo that and do the proper thing by calling votes the way it should be. So again, I like to close this debate. We promise people that we will not go beyond 7:45, and I'd like us to honor that commitment, please.
I have a brief point of information.
No, I'm sorry, I think you just called the question.
I just called the question.
Second.
Objection?
There's a second on the table already.
But if you object, you have to vote.
Yeah, all right, so voting to call the question on College of Medicine Phoenix.
Roll call vote, motion for roll call vote.
I object.
Motion for roll call vote.
Second the objection to the.
All right, okay, wait
This is
a
gonna be
minute,
a clean
objection,
majority.
so both, hands up if you wanna have a roll call, hands up if you wanna have a roll
There's,
call vote.
you don't do hands up.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do, you have to vote, sorry.
Read Robert's rules.
Okay, so I see 0 votes for a roll call vote, I see 3 votes for a roll call vote, and nays. Motion fails. All right, now we have to vote to call the question. Hands up if you would like to call the question.
Sorry, Rob.
Motion for roll call vote.
It already
Okay,
failed.
Yeah, it failed once, I'm not gonna have your motion over and over
Sorry,
I'll
there's still a
vote
motion
pass.
on roll call.
I'll go well and pass. Now, we're voting to include the College of Medicine Phoenix amendment in the Constitution. Can I get hands up to include them, please?
Motion for roll call vote.
I object.
Second.
Still a
Second.
motion for roll call
Second.
vote.
All right, vote hands up if you want to have a roll call vote.
Jesus, Tony.
Hold on.
It's just obstruction at this
I
point.
see
It's not a meeting.
3 votes. Now, I'm not entertaining any more motions until we vote on this. College of Medicine Phoenix, if you're a yes, please put your hands in the air. I see 7, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20. Anybody from the live stream?
Oh, I already have one.
Mr.
Okay.
Speaker.
Sorry, can I get nays in there, please? 1, 4 nays. All right. Any abstentions, just for giggles?
You missed Storm's name. I'm done.
Yeah.
5 nays, actually I missed all of those. 5 nays, 21. College of Medicine, and then Dustin, you're saying? Yep. Okay. All right, so,
So there's 4
I got
abstentions, not 4.
sorry, 4 abstentions, thank you. 4 abstentions. All right, motion passes,
So motion to have this apply retroactively.
I second.
Oh,
Sorry, motion for
Sorry.
roll call vote. Are we voting?
I'm sorry, Jared, did you?
I just want to do a point of order, just to clarify that you cannot make a new motion, once call question has been called and has been objected to and then reaffirmed, you have to vote, you cannot vote another one, like what Maria was trying to do last time.
Okay.
You cannot introduce a new
Thank
motion.
you, I
You
appreciate
have to
it.
vote.
So, I'm sorry, there was a second on making this apply retroactively. Is there any further debate?
No. Oh.
Remington?
So this can we just clarify retroactive to which date, since
It's
I believe this
I
was.
think it's October the 11th,
Okay,
but it's last fall.
okay, thanks.
Can we just clarify it to the end of last term? Would that be acceptable to everybody?
Well, when we voted, the original wording and understanding was that this would take place the next election cycle.
Election cycle.
So, well then, do we need to have it be retroactive or not, or we just want to?
We could say it passed then, but it doesn't go into effect until next cycle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, if it doesn't go
When you
into
say
effect.
next cycle, do you mean this current election cycle?
No, when College of Medicine does our elections in the fall.
Yeah.
So let me rephrase this. This does go into effect, but you will not get any new reps until the fall.
Okay,
Yeah,
is that
that's
clear
what
to
it
everybody?
was.
Alright, so
So-
retroactively back to October the 11th.
Yes.
Is that clear with everybody?
Yes.
Maria?
Point of information, if it didn't pass back then.
It did pass back then, Maria. I'm sorry that you didn't, I'm sorry you don't want the College of Medicine to be
No,
part of
no,
it.
it has
but
nothing to do with the College of
no.
Medicine. I mean, I'm just looking at the minutes, it did not pass.
And you were the one who wrote those minutes.
From our deadline.
Yes.
Alright, we're now past the point at which I care. So, can I get, there's a motion to
There's a
make this
motion
apply
to
retroactively
please.
to October the 11th. Can I get ayes, please?
Motion for roll call vote.
Objection.
Objection.
I'm not doing this again.
No one seconded, so it doesn't
4,
matter.
5, 6,
Jim,
7, 8, 9.
Jim seconded it.
He
I'm,
can't.
Why not?
Because I'm moving on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 ayes.
Sorry, I got that.
19 ayes for retroactive. Any nays? 3 nays. 4 nays. Any abstentions? Awesome. I move to adjourn.
Second.
Can I object to that? Actually, I think we have like other emergency business we'd like to discuss this time.
Okay.
I'm going to discuss new business
Yeah, I
unless
think,
it's absolutely pressing. Have a meeting next Monday, please.
yeah, I think that's probably the best because we're now 3 minutes to discuss it. So
Well,
I would.
I don't know. I think it's pressing because of the reflection and how it will reflect on GPSC in the public in the news article that's going to come out tomorrow. Do you guys really not want to talk about it right now?
What?
Really don't.
About what?
About what happened in the EB meeting yesterday?
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
I'll retract my objection then.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys. 7:43 p.m.
Please, guys, we still have enough pixels. Come take as many as you want. And take what you want. You need to.
Oh, yeah.
But hold it.